There we go. Hello. It's story time again. Welcome in, welcome in. Today we are going to be reading Better Wait Till Martin Comes. And so this is a comic scare tale, usually told about a preacher. It is an old story, widely known in America among all peoples, and was told for many years on the stage by comedian Bert Williams. The theme of the person who accepts a dare or decides to stay in a haunted place is a favorite of the early ghost tale teller. The animals involved are sometimes monkeys, a gorilla, cats, a timber wolf, a mule, a tiger, or a calf, among others. The huge animal or being for whom the preacher or salesman or simply I is too afraid, is too terrified to wait, is known. Hold on, sorry. The huge animal or being for whom the preacher or salesman or simply I is too terrified to wait is known in versions of the tale as Emmett, Rufus, John, Martin, Caleb, Wallambellum, and Willie, or whatever other name the teller cares to use. Now, here's a story I heard tell about John, and he was a man traveling through one end this county to the other. One time, he gets caught after dark, had no place to stay nearby. There was a tumble down plantation house on the hill next to a lone pine tree. Real old, abandoned mansion. Both house and tree were twisted. Seemed to John he'd heard the place was haunted. John didn't worry much about haunts. He knew himself to be a good man, and he knew his prayers. Expect I better take shelter up there in the big house, he thought. The sky do look cloudy. Think it might rain before morning. So John walked over the weedy ground past the tree. He heard that skinny pine moan. Then it meowed at him. John looked straight ahead. If there were haunts in the tree, they wasn't going to catch him looking. He went ahead on inside the old plantation house. All old houses like that whisper. Empty rooms. And this moaned as well. Wind through the cracks. John paid no mind to the forlorn sounds. He found plenty of dry wood on the hearth next to the fireplace, and soon he had a cracking, warm fire going, too. That's the best fire I ever made, if I do say so myself. He spoke out loud to keep himself company. John found a broken down chair. It would hold his weight a minute, so he sat down in it. And after a time, he was most comfortable there in the empty, whispering, moaning plantation house. He was safe against any storm. He folded his hands and he said his prayers over to himself for good measure. Shortly, something came up behind John. Then it walked on by him. It was a black, shiny cat walking in out of the rain. It was blacker than night and blacker than coal, too. That black cat was. And it eased over to the fireplace. And it sat down right in the fire, picked up a red hot coal in its paws, and stuck out its tongue and licked at the coal, just like licking some milk. It did too lick that red hot coal. John, not saying a word, not paying that cat any mind at all. He had cats at home. but none lived in the house, nor sat down in a blazing fire and licked up a hot coal. He said his prayers like he was supposed to, but a little faster now. As quick as a crack of the fire, a long shadow fell over John. It walked around him. The shadow turned out to be a cat, too, only this cat was no kind of house cat. This cat was as big as a hunting dog, black as coal, and his collar fur standing up on his shoulders. The great big cat sat down in the fire and picked up a live, red, hot coal. And he dusts his cheeks with it like that burning coal, just a powder puff. He powders his nose with it, and as proper as you please. Then that big, ugly cat turned to the first one. He's smacking his lips. The big cat says, "Are we ready?" And the regular cat says, "We'd better wait till Martin comes." Well, poor John moves himself then. He has to. But the broken down chair is weak. Its seat falls in. John is stuck in the chair, can't pull himself out without making a lot of noise. Something tells him to keep still and say his prayers. He says them. He says them as fast as he can, hardly making a sound. And the big hunting dog cat and the little regular cat get on up out of the burning fire. They stand on the hearth and pat out the smoke, shake out the ashes, and come over, sit right down on each side of John. Poor John stays as still and as twisted up as that haunted tree outside, saying his prayers clear though, whispering as fast as he can go and not moving his mouth at all. The next minute, there come walking in behind him and around a cat 12 times bigger than the other two, and as big as a timber wolf, bigger. This has to be Martin, John is thinking, but he won't say a sound, too scared. That timber cat walks over and sits down in the fire, just like the other cats did. And he picks up this live coal and he puts it right on his slanted green eyes. He dusts his eyeballs with it, and he turns around to the other cats sitting on each side of John. The timber cat says to the other cats, showing his teeth, "What do you want to do with him there?" And looks straight dead at John, too. And the other cats say right back, all in one meow, "We better wait till Martin comes." With that, John gives a great heave up. The chair comes up with him, but at least he was up. And he runs out the wide open front door. He's calling as he goes out flying, "Mr. Katz, you tell Martin I was here, but I couldn't wait on him, and now I'm gone." And he was long gone and never seen in that county since. The end. Got us a little supposed to be a little scary one this time. That's interesting. I might have to read that again. I wonder who Martin was. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. As always, if you want to hire me for voice acting, if you got any projects and you need a narrator, email me at the Symba Luna Show at gmail.com. Be back maybe next week, maybe. All right, let's see. Yeah, next week we're gonna read Jack and the Devil. It's gonna be fun. Love y'all. Nighty night. Hush your